And we are live. This will be another edition of DT Live. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to window manager hop once again. I'm going to go ahead. This will be another edition of DT Live. Got to mute the live preview here on YouTube. All right, yes. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and window manager hop. I bought my new computer about a month ago, and when I bought my new computer, the window managers I had already previously reviewed on the channel, Qtile, Awesome, or not Awesome, Qtile, DWM, Xmonad, Herbstluft, i3. I think there's 5 or 6 of them I've already kind of looked at, configured, imported all my configs, and I kind of been hopping around a little bit on those same window managers, mostly staying on Qtile when I record because I like how everything's set up in Qtile as far as all my scenes and all my layouts. But one day I'll spend in Xmonad, one day I'll spend in DWM, etc. So I figured, it's time to check out something I haven't really lived in, or at least not lately. Awesome Window Manager. Awesome Window Manager I lived in for a few weeks years ago. I don't know, maybe 8 years ago. It's a long time. I don't have any of those configs. That was before I saved anything on GitHub or GitLab or anything. So I don't have my own Awesome Window Manager configs or anything. So I'm going to have to configure this thing to my liking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a very stock Arco Linux here. Arco Linux, their Awesome Window Manager edition. So this is what Arco Awesome kind of looks like out of the box, except it does have a conky, although I'm not capturing the right screen to show you guys the conky. Let me switch screens here if I can. So that is my far left monitor, and you can see Awesome Window Manager has its own panel, its own bar at the top, so they're not using polybar like they do in a lot of their other editions. Really doesn't make sense to use polybar in Awesome or Qtile because both those window managers have really nice panels with all the functionality you could ever want, all the widgets and everything. It's got a sys tray. Looks like Arco Linux, by the way, does have PAMAC installed out of the box. I should probably just get rid of PAMAC. I don't use it. We got the network manager here in the sys tray. We have variety for the wallpaper changer. The wallpaper will change every couple of minutes. I have it disabled right now just because I didn't want it constantly changing on me, but I'll turn it on later and show you guys variety. I'm not going to keep variety. It's not something I use either, but again, I wanted to kind of show you stock Arco Awesome Edition because many of you guys will like some of this stuff. For me, I'm going to hack on it in a pretty severe way. I'm going to uninstall Conky, for example. I don't need Conky on the desktop because in a tiling window manager, the very first thing you do is, when you open a window, what's going to happen? Your desktop is completely covered. You're not going to see the Conky anyway, as long as you actually have stuff open. I'm going to keep it for right now, though, because it does have some keyboard shortcut information that will help me out for this video today, because Eric Dubois, the creator of Arco Linux, some of the configs and the programs he uses and the key bindings he uses are not things I'm used to. I'm used to Super Shift C in all my tiling window managers to close a window, for example. He uses Super Shift Q, I guess, to quit the program. I actually use Super Shift Q to quit the window manager entirely. So again, I'm going to have to change a lot of the key bindings that I'm used to. For right now, though, I'm going to try to use basically what he's got here. Let me go back here. Other thing that's going to make this interesting too is that Awesome Window Manager is one of those window managers, instead of having one set of workspaces shared across all 3 screens, the way Qtile and Xmonad do, it is one of those, very much like DWM, that it has a set of workspaces on each monitor. So I have workspace 1 through 10 on one monitor, and then I have a different set of workspaces 1 through 10 on the next monitor, and then a different set of workspaces 1 through 10 on the third monitor. So really I have 30 workspaces. I don't need all that. Also, I like having the workspaces shared across the monitors. That way when I swap workspace 1 on this monitor with workspace 2 on this monitor, they just change places. It doesn't do that on these kind of window managers like Awesome and DWM because they have their own set of workspaces. Let me change the screen I'm capturing here. So I will be capturing this middle monitor. I just wanted to show you guys that conky that was running. Let me go to the chat very briefly. How's the audio, guys? Those of you that are already in the chat this morning. Yeah, the hopping continues. Yeah. I've used, like I said, I used Awesome in the past, though, and I liked it years ago. It's been so long since I've used it, though. This will be pretty new to me. It's been that long since I've used it. Again, I don't have my own configs for this, so I will have to spend some time hacking on this. So, yeah, Explorer was here. And Pi 7. Let's see. Johan. Hi, DT in the chat. How you doing, Johan? Big Pod. Now I don't have to watch you or Microsoft Build Conference keynote. Wait, what? Now I don't know what to do. Watch you or Microsoft Build Conference keynote. Well, you can always catch me on the replay, Big Pod. I know you're a big Microsoft fan. You might want to catch their conference. I don't know how long I'm going to be on this morning either. I do have to actually leave for work here in a little bit, so I just, I felt like switching to Awesome today. I thought today would be a good day, and I needed to put it on video if I was going to do that. I was like, yeah, let's do it live. Let's do a quick live stream this morning before I head out to work. Plus, it'll give us a chance to interact with the chat. Plus, on something like this, I'm going to do, it's not pre-recorded. It's not going to be edited in any way. If I start hacking on Awesome a little bit, like changing the key bindings and layouts or whatever to suit my needs, some of you guys would be interested in that, because I know a lot of you guys that are not used to configuring your own window manager or other programs for that matter, having to dig into a plain text config file. Some of you guys, how do you even get started? If you don't even really know the programming language, for example, I don't know anything about Lua. But I'm going to dive right into that Lua config file here in a minute. And, we're not going to do any serious Lua programming, but I bet I can figure out the config, what's going on in the config enough to change, some basic functions here in Awesome. So. I missed a little bit of the chat here. Yep, let's see. Yeah, it was amazing to see you and Luke Smith together on the stream yesterday. Yeah, you guys have been asking about that. And I guess people have been asking Luke about it. So the other day, Luke was doing a stream, I don't know, Wednesday or Thursday. It was in the morning time, right before I went to work. And I caught like the last 10-15 minutes of his stream. And I was chatting with some of the folks in the chat on his stream. And he noticed I was in the stream. And he said, hey, DT, I've been looking for your email. Maybe we could do a collab sometime. So he couldn't find my email, but I found his email. His email is public. Mine's public too, but I don't put it out there the way he does his. So I emailed him. And I was like, sure, yeah, let's do something. So we did something. Hope the stream turned out all right. It was a probably not the best time for either one of us to stream yesterday. We didn't mention it on camera, but Luke had mentioned he did not get any sleep the night before, so he was kind of tired. Some folks commented that, it was a different kind of Luke during the stream. Maybe he wasn't as animated or whatever. And some people mentioned, yeah, I looked kind of tired myself, or angry, especially at the beginning of the stream. I had a very bad morning right before that stream. Somebody had broken into a storage unit of mine, and I was dealing with that all morning, so... Matter of fact, I had almost missed the stream. I had just got home right before that stream started. So I'm still, pissed off about that. So when the stream started, that's why, I'm like the last thing on my mind was, hey, let's go and do a quick stream on YouTube. But as the stream, went on, I thought it turned out all right. Hopefully you guys found it kind of entertaining. It's a different kind of stream for Luke, too, since he doesn't do a lot of, really Linux-centric content, I mean, he does some Linux stuff, but, for him, it's a lot of the memes, interesting kind of content he usually puts out. It was strange for 2.5 hours. We really stuck to Linux as a topic for almost the whole stream. We really didn't veer off topic very much at all. Yeah, the audio is good. Thank you. Yeah, perfect audio. Audio is fine. Yep. So Big Pod, you still have 20 minutes till the Microsoft keynote starts, and then it's Microsoft for you. I understand. We all have to make choices here. You gotta have your priorities. Yeah, it was cool to chill with you guys. Oh, thanks. Good morning. How are you, DT? Hi, Steven. Been a good morning so far. Having my second cup of coffee. About to finish that. Then I gotta head out. Work a little bit today. Yes, thank you for the stream with Luke. It's interesting. Yeah, I'd never really talked to Luke before. I mean, I talked to him a little bit occasionally through YouTube comments, YouTube chat. Yeah, have I found a new job already? Yeah, I already got something lined up. I had something lined up immediately. Let's see, that is the only reason I know of Lua. It's this big pod. I'm assuming Awesome Window Manager, maybe, is the only reason you know of Lua. Yeah, not too many things use Lua. May I say that? Some people are going to, in the chat, flood me with all these programs written in Lua. But yeah, Awesome Window Manager is really the only thing I know. I mean, Conky, too. Conky uses Lua, which... yeah, World of Warcraft add-ons for it. I guess they use Lua. Yeah, nice wallpaper. Yeah, so Arco Linux has some really nice wallpapers, so I didn't like get rid of all their wallpapers or anything. Let's see, I actually pulled up the IRC chat too, somewhere up here, you guys that are hanging out in the IRC. I'm not going to be chatting with the IRC though. Yeah, I'm going to put you guys on screen here. Matter of fact, I may not do much chatting with any of y'all as far as once I start hacking on Awesome. And then as soon as the stream is over, like I said, I've got to jet here. And there's the IRC. That's DistroTube over on the freenode network. Hashtag DistroTube. Let's see. Alright, so let's hack on this a little bit. So the first thing we need to do is Awesome Window Manager has a config file. It's called rc.lua. Now the rc.lua file needs to be placed in .config/awesome if you have that directory on your system. I already have it and I already have a config file there. When you first install Awesome on Arch or Ubuntu or some distro that doesn't have an Awesome edition like Arco, you're not going to have that directory on your system. You're not going to have .config/awesome. You're not going to have a rc.lua there. You're going to have to find the rc.lua file. So how do you do that? Well, I mean, you could do it a number of different ways, but if I did a locate for rc.lua, you will see there's several of them on my machine. This one is the one in my home directory. That one will not exist by default. The one you're looking for, though, is this one right here. /etc/xdg/awesome/rc.lua. What you would do is you would copy that into .config/awesome/rc.lua. That is the default standard template for Awesome. I'm not going to actually copy that over to my config/awesome because that would overwrite the current config, which is Eric Dubois and the Arco Linux team's Awesome edition. So I'm not going to go ahead and copy that over, but you guys just starting out, that's probably what you need to do. Then what you need to do, you need to go to .config/awesome. So cd.config. Sorry guys, kind of at an awkward angle at my keyboard here. So cd into .config/awesome. If you do an ls, hopefully your rc.lua is there, and then just open it up in whatever plain text editor you want. So Vim or Nano at the terminal would be fine, or if you guys prefer, you know, something like Sublime, Atom, Genie, whatever graphical GUI text editor you want to use, it just as long as it's a plain text editor, no formatting here. And I can tell you, just briefly having looked at this a little bit, this is a massive config file that the Arco Linux team have put together here. This is a very long rc.lua. I have no idea what most of this stuff does. I mean, I could figure it out, but this would take a minute. And the first thing I want to do is, by default, I like having super and then 0 on the keypad open up D menu. Now, by default, the Arco Linux team had something else going on for that, how to open up D menu. D menu is on the system, but You know, I could sit here and try to find where the key bindings are all day, or I could just search for D menu here in Vim. There it is. Alright, so this line right here, D menu, that's the command to launch it. What is the key binding set to? Well, I've already changed it. Mod key, keypad insert, which is 0 on the keypad. By default, I think they had it mod key either P or mod key D, something, which was okay. I mean, that's fine, but again, because all my other window manager configs, I have mod key, keypad 0 to open up D menu, I wanted to make sure that's the same here. So mod key, keypad 0, you see I have D menu. Though I don't like the coloring, you know, I would have to config D menu a little bit. You see the colors they are using, that NB I think is the background color, that's that black color. Then NF is the foreground color, which is the font, the text color. And then what font is he using? He's using Noto, Mono, Regular. So I could actually change some of this right now if I wanted to. As a matter of fact, let's do it. So if I change word here in Vim, well, let me get out of D menu, change word. And I think the font I usually use, the background color I use for D menu, I just happen to know it is 292 D3E. And the foreground color, I'm actually not sure what I use for a foreground color, but you know, just for purposes of this demonstration, let's just change it to white. So 6 Fs. And then I'm going to escape. I'm going to write here in Vim, and then I'm going to relaunch Awesome. And I hope that he has relaunching Awesome set to Super Shift R. That's what most window managers do. And that appears to have worked, although it did change the layout here. It also changed the wallpaper, oddly enough. Also changed what workspace I was on. But it did restart the window manager. Let's see if mod 0 now. Yeah, see, I changed the colors. Now the D menu background is more of a bluish color, similar to my terminal here. And of course the font is now white instead of that orange color. So again, you know, you don't have to be some programmer or some dev. You could kind of figure out what's going on just reading the lines. It's pretty obvious that that was the background, that was the foreground. This is the font, obviously. You guys know Noto is a font. Well, what I could do is change this. If I go into insert mode here, I would, well, get out of D menu again. So I would probably change this. I think I use the Ubuntu Mono Nerd font, I think, in my D menu. So let's see, Ubuntu Mono Nerd font, I think, is how it's written. I may have to double check that, but let's just relaunch it and see if it works. If I launch D menu is not working, so that must have not been correct. Maybe that wasn't the font. Or you know what, I think it is. I think I needed to wrap it in quotes. So Ubuntu Mono Nerd font. Let's wrap it in single quotes. Actually, we probably should wrap the whole thing in single quotes now that I'm looking at it. Yeah. Yeah, we better do that. Let's wrap this whole section here and see if that works. And that works. That changed the font. Now I'm using Ubuntu Mono Nerd font here in the D menu. Escape to get out of D menu, and again it changed the layout. Instead of being in tiling or in floating like I was, I'm back to tiling by default. I'm back to Workspace 1 by default, where I was on Workspace 3. So every time I restart the window manager, I'm going to keep having these issues here. Alright, back to the chat. Alright. Yeah, I missed some of the chat. You guys are kind of talkative today. Of course, we got some talk about C# coming to Linux. I'm sure C# is just fine. Yeah. Ben Fitzpatrick is in the chat. How you doing, Ben? .NET Core is open source implementation of .NET framework made by Microsoft, and it is officially supported on Linux, according to BigPod. Let's see. It's all a bunch of gibberish to me. What was a bunch of... Probably the rc.lua is a bunch of gibberish. Yeah, text editor. VS Code is an Electron app. Yes. Atom is an Electron app too, those of you that use Atom. But you probably already know that since you wait 30 seconds for it to open up every time you use it. Yeah, basically, Atom is made by GitHub. Yeah. Yeah, the GitHub guys, they just wanted to create a Sublime clone. It's basically open source Sublime written in Electron. Let's see. Yeah, DT, can you share your Vim RC? Man, it looks good. The Vim RC is on my GitLab page. Check the show description. I think I'll link to my GitLab in that. If not, I'm pretty sure I have a link to my GitLab page in the channel header. Yeah. Any of my configs. I have all... anything you see me do, chances are I have a config for it on my GitLab page. So you guys are always asking me about my Qtile configs and OpenBox configs and, you know, ST and everything else. Yeah, it's all on GitLab. Just pull it down from GitLab. Change the stuff you want to change. Obviously, don't use any of my configs as is. I mean, they're there for you guys more as a template, right? I wouldn't even say some of the configs are complete. Like a lot of those window manager configs that I have, you know, I spent a couple of weeks on, you know, maybe I didn't live in them for a year and have them perfectly set up, you know, to do just everything. You will have to hack on them a little bit. Is Nano only for noobs? No, I mean, you can use any text editor. There's no such thing as a noob text editor. Or a power user text editor, I guess. I will say, though, Nano is not extensible the way Vim is, for example, or Emacs, or, you know, something like that. So it is kind of limited in what it can do. But it also depends on what you're trying to do with Nano. Also, do you spend all your time in a text editor? Do you spend all day in a text editor? If not, if you just occasionally open up a text editor just to make minor changes to some config files every now and then, doesn't matter what text editor. So, let's see. Derek, not to be weird and off topic, but what's your opinion on Sprint cell service? My dad's so pissed off at them maybe switching cell phone carriers. We've had so many issues based off of, well, I mean, it depends on what area you're in. You're not going to have good coverage with certain providers in certain places. Sprint is not common at all where I'm at. The area I live in, it's most folks are on Verizon or AT&T. Sprint is not very common at all. T-Mobile is non-existent around here. Yeah, Ed is a noob text editor because it is a standard editor. Yeah. I doubt I'll be taking a look at Ed anytime soon. We can agree. Notepad. That one that comes with Windows is a noob text editor. You know what? I used Notepad for years as a plain text editor for doing basic programming, like, you know, web design, web dev stuff. I did everything in Notepad. Notepad with no extensions, really. Just plain text editing. Just give me a plain text editor and I'll start using it, right? So I wouldn't say that, yeah, I mean, you can do anything you want to in Notepad. It's just not, it's not Vim, right? Yeah, word grinder is good for word processing in the command line, absolutely. I don't have word grinder actually installed on this machine. I had it installed on my last machine, checked it out a little bit, played with it. So I don't know if I would want to do word processing in the terminal. I mean, if I really wanted like proper formatting and everything, you know, if I was writing like my novel or something, LibreOffice, I mean, why wouldn't you just, you know, the right tool for the right job, you know, use some graphical programs that are appropriate for what you're doing. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, got you live again. Good stuff yesterday with Luke. Yeah, nice to see you guys collab. Yeah, appreciate that. That was non-communicable. Okay. Nice name, by the way. Yeah, I don't do live streams that often. I've been trying to do them a little more here lately. I actually sat down. I felt like doing this video, switching to Awesome today, letting you guys know about it, maybe playing with the Awesome config a minute. And I thought about just pre-recording it. And I was like, I'll pre-record, 10, 15 minutes or something. Quickly edit it, upload it. And I was like, nah, you know what? I don't do enough of these live streams. I'm going to do them live. The live streams there is one issue with the live streams I need to make a video about, is when I do these live streams, I don't record them locally to my main machine. I could. I need to start doing that actually. So every live stream I've ever done on YouTube, I don't have a copy of it. I don't have the actual physical video anywhere on any of my drives or, in the cloud or anywhere. The only copy of those is on YouTube. So I have to go back and rip off all those live streams from YouTube at some point and then host them on my own server or something. Yeah, did you talk to Luke about VIFM? No, we did not actually, and I'm glad you mentioned that. Is when we first sat down yesterday, I got there about 2 minutes before he was ready to start streaming. We checked our audio levels, made sure Zoom looked good. I don't think he had ever used Zoom before. And while we were setting stuff up, he mentioned, hey, you still use VIFM? And I said, yes. He goes, good, because I've got some questions. And then he started, and then he said, you know what? Just wait for the live stream. I don't want to, start talking all this technical stuff. We'll get it all on camera. I was like, okay. Then he started the live stream, and I guess he forgot all about VIFM, and so did I. So we never brought it up in that entire 2.5 hours. And I know that was one of the things he really wanted to discuss. Matter of fact, at some point during the stream, I think he paused for a few minutes and said, man, there was something I really wanted to ask you, and I can't remember. And I made the joke that, he was getting old and dementia was setting in. What he wanted to ask me, I'm 90% sure was about VIFM. So yeah, we didn't get that. Maybe if we do something again in the future, I'll remember to bring up VIFM. Because I think he switched to a different file manager. Like he didn't stay on VIFM very long when he switched over to it. He's already on to something else. All right. Let's see. Give me just a second to get my OBS scene straight. You guys that are interested in the Awesome Window Manager too, obviously an easy way to get into it is to install a distro that has it installed and pre-configured by default. Almost nobody does that. Arco Linux is kind of unusual because they have an Awesome Window Manager edition. But for the most part, you're going to have to start with a scratch config and do it all yourself. If you want some documentation, AwesomeWM.org is the name of the website. And it's a pretty good website. They got pretty good documentation. Somebody's setup here, 6-monitor setup. Looks very old though. You can tell nobody really uses one. That might be 17-inch monitors there, maybe even 15-inch. Anyway, of course, the beauty of these tiling window managers is they work great with multi-monitors. All right, so, just hacking on this a little bit. The first thing I mentioned, closing a window. I like Super Shift C to close a window. By default, Eric Dubois and the gang have Super Shift Q to close a window. Now, I would like to find where that is here in this config. I may have to search around for it. Now, if I knew exactly like a keyword to search for, I could just do a search here in Vim, but I may just scroll down and see. Because what I'm going to look for is a key binding, awful.key, and then it should say mod key, shift, and Q. And let's see. We have a set of key bindings here. Mod key 1, alt key A is this key binding for whatever this is. Well, I can check it. Mod key 1 would be, what would that be? Control maybe? Control alt A? Yes. So in their config, mod key 1 is control. So you can kind of figure this out. It takes a minute, but so this key binding here, mod key 1, which is control, plus the alt key, plus A, opens the XFCE4 app finder. So mod key alt A. That is the XFCE app finder. Something I wouldn't normally have installed on my machine. I'll probably delete that. They have the catfish file search here configured to mod key alt key C. So what's that? Control alt C for catfish. That did not come up, so catfish may not be on my system. I may have already removed it. Let's see. Control alt I for nitrogen. I wonder if they put nitrogen on there, or did I change that? I know I already had I installed nitrogen. I don't know if Arco uses it by default. But yes, Control alt I does bring up nitrogen for wallpaper. And I'm struggling closing the windows because I got to remember Super Shift Q, not Super Shift C. But anyway, you don't have to know Lua, right? This is kind of self-explanatory right here. They're like just picking one at random. I'm going to pick this key binding here and just take a quick look at it. Mod key plus the alt key plus P is the PAMAC manager. It brings up PAMAC. So there's PAMAC. So it would be very easy to edit that. So if I didn't need this key binding, of course I could just delete the line altogether. Or if I wanted a hotkey for PAMAC Manager, but I didn't like Control Alt P, I could change it to whatever I wanted. I could change it to Control Alt M maybe, or whatever I decide, as long as the key binding does not conflict with some other key binding in the config. And he has a ton of key bindings for variety. How to toggle the wallpaper, how to go to the next wallpaper, how to go to the previous wallpaper. That's interesting. We should actually test some of this out. This is not something I would normally use, but I'm kind of curious about this. So what I'm going to do, you guys watching the stream here, I'm going to change monitors, what monitor I'm capturing. And in his config, well, let's turn on variety because I think I had it paused. I'm going to resume regular changes. So in his config, he has Alt plus N to go to the next wallpaper. So let me get focus on this screen and Alt plus N. Oh, it works. Alt plus N to go to the next. Alt plus N to go to the next. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Alt P for previous, I think. So we should see the honey Alt P again. Back to the kind of forest scene here. Let's see what else he has. He has hotkeys to favorite a wallpaper, hotkeys to pause variety, which is Alt key plus up. Okay, so Alt up would pause it. So we're stuck on this wallpaper for now. Alt down to resume. So that would resume it changing. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So it is paused. So yeah, the key bindings work. Let me start capturing this screen again. Anyway, some of this is tedious, right? You know, it would take me a while to figure out what's going on with this very lengthy config. Of course, I'm going to get rid of most of the key bindings in this config. I can tell you right now, at least half this config is going to go away. Like all the variety stuff. I've mentioned I don't use variety. I set a wallpaper. I don't want it to change. If I ever want it to change, I'll change it myself. So I'm going to get rid of all these key bindings. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and do it right now. So everything that has to do with variety. How about right here? And looks like 16 lines. So I'm going to type 16 DD. I just deleted 16 lines. I actually need to delete 17. One more. DD. All right. That's right. And if I restart, which was Super Shift R, restart, there we go. So we got rid of the variety commands there. Oops, there were errors. I guess it didn't like some of what I did. I must have had an error. Well, that is easy enough to fix. I might have deleted too many lines. Maybe let me check that one more time. Or maybe some of what I deleted is called on later in the script. The great thing about Vim, though, or any plain text editor, but on Vim, U to undo, right? So U, undo. I'm going to undo one more time because I did 2 commands. Right, and then restart again, Super Shift R. Super Shift R is not how you restart on a default installation of Awesome, though. What is the default? Control? Super Control R, maybe? Well, I'm pretty good at guessing these key bindings. Yes. It's not my my first tiling window manager, right? All right. Let's see if I... Sorry guys, I'm trying to change some stuff here. But while I'm struggling with what I'm doing here, trying to get OBS back situated here, I'll put the chat on here. Yeah, so Ranger versus VIFM. What's the difference but the name? Some of the key bindings and what they do. Different defaults for the most part, but you kind of have to write your own config for them, make them extensible, whatever it is you do with file managers every day. There's plenty of videos about Ranger out there. Not a lot of videos about VIFM, but VIFM has a really nice website. I think it's vifm.info. Just go read some of the documentation. It'll explain some of what you can do with VIFM. But it's, again, kind of like the text editor thing. It depends on what you need the file manager for. If you don't use a file manager that much, if you don't live in the file manager, if you're not doing complicated stuff in a file manager, yeah, use whatever. Use what works for you. Yeah, Luke uses NNN nowadays, not Ranger. Yeah, I think he switched from Ranger to NNN, and then he went to VIFM, and now recently he's on something LF, or some file manager I haven't heard of. So he's continuing to file manager hop. Let's see. Anybody with NVIDIA need NVENC? Yeah, if you have NVIDIA, you probably need NVENC if you do any kind of recording. You need the NVENC encoder. I'm surprised that Ubuntu's FFmpeg isn't compiled with it. Yeah. If you want a good distro for NVENC, Fedora, if you prefer a static release distro, which you probably do if you were looking at Ubuntu, Fedora is great for that. You'll be up and running in no time. Of course, on rolling releases, Arch. Has Arco Qtile come out yet? Yes, I actually downloaded the ISO. I've got the ISO on my machine. I just haven't done anything with it. I should take a look at it at some point. I have my own Qtile configs, of course. I wouldn't use theirs. But you guys that are interested in trying out Qtile for the first time and already having a pre-set up Qtile, it would probably be a good option. I'm going to try to set aside some time this week actually to take a look at Arco Linux Qtile edition. Because it's been out now, I don't know, almost a month. And I haven't looked at it, which is strange, right? Being kind of the Qtile fanboy, right? Like I was one of the ones initially, they were doing all these window manager editions like Awesome and BSPWM. Hey, you should do Qtile. And they did one, and I haven't looked at it. So I kind of feel bad about that. Yeah, I don't like how i3 Window Manager works with tiling and screens, but it only operates by key bindings or from console commands. It's just what I just want to be able to make some drop downs like tray and KDE. I don't know tray and KDE, but drop downs. I'm not sure. Like you're wanting like a proper menu system or something. By the way, I didn't mention this because it's a tiling window manager. But Awesome Window Manager does have menus. It's one of the you guys often ask me about a good first tiling window manager, and I always tell you guys start with Awesome because Awesome, a default stock Awesome. This is not quite stock, obviously. Arco's configuring it a lot, but even just a plain Jane Awesome Window Manager installed on Ubuntu or Fedora or Arch or whatever has a menu. Right click on the desktop. It's almost like the right click open box menu. You guys, seen open box and flux box, things like that. So this is great. I don't even need to know the key binding to open D menu or to open a terminal or anything. But, starting out, I have this menu that would help me out initially. Now, you shouldn't use this menu eventually, right? As a tiling window manager, eventually you need to start figuring out what the key bindings are, and if you can't, you need to write your own key bindings, because eventually you're going to start opening stuff. I don't have a desktop anymore to click on anything, right? You can actually put an icon or some kind of launcher in the panel that would also launch that same menu if you felt like you needed it. Again, this is really just for starting out. I would get away from this menu very quickly, but it's there. It's one of the reasons why I tell you guys start with Awesome. It's because some tiling window managers, when you first start into like Xmonad, for example, if you install Xmonad and launch Xmonad, if you do not know the default key binding to open a terminal or to open D menu, assuming you have D menu even installed on the system yet, you will not be able to do anything in Xmonad. Nothing. So Awesome you can start using right away. It's already got these pre-built layouts. I mean, I don't know if the Arco team changed the layouts any, but you got the floating layout here, and the tile left, tile bottom, tile top, max layout, magnifier, which you can't really see because I've already got something in floating mode, but this is the tile layout. You guys know this layout? You heard me talk about this layout many times in Xmonad, DWM, and Arco. The default layout in those window managers is master and stack. And that is exactly what this is. The master window is the very first window you open. It's always 50% of the left-hand column here. And the rest of the windows you open, they're secondary. And they are stacked on top of each other in the right-hand column. This is by far my favorite tiling layout. It's the default layout, again, in Xmonad, DWM, and Qtile, and Awesome. Why do all those tiling window managers use it as the default? Because it makes sense. It makes sense because you got the one main window you're working in, and then you just kind of throw everything else over here, right? And even if they get scrunched up, in that right-hand column stacking, it doesn't matter, because again, those are probably the programs you're not really working on. So for example, say I was working, I don't know, in HTOP, whatever you were doing in HTOP. Strange to be working in HTOP, but let's open up something else. I don't know, have CMUS installed. What else could we open up? I don't have key bindings to launch all my programs, so I'm having to figure out exactly what I want to launch here. VIFM. Anyway, we could keep stacking. I'll just open up anything here. Let's see what else I have. Well, of course, I could do links. How about we could go to my GOPHER hole. So GOPHER : distro.tube. There's the DistroTube GOPHER hole. So you have the one column, the left-hand column you're working in. Everything else is just being scrunched up, stacked on top of each other over here. And you're like, well, you really can't see much that's going on in these programs because they're so tiny. But again, you're working in this one. Now, if you want to change focus, well, you could just rotate the stack with Super Shift J and K. So I could, move VIFM over here, or whatever I want to. I could get focus on. Let's see. If I wanted to move CMUS, I can move CMUS through the stack until I get it into the master window here. Super Q to close them all. It's definitely the most useful tiling layout, though, is the master and stack layout. That's typically all you really need are 3 layouts in a tiling window manager. You need the master and stack, which should be the default layout. You need a max window stack where every window you open is always full screen. So that's useful for web browsers, right? Text editors, if you spend a lot of time in a text editor. You don't want you want one window focus. I mean, you can always cycle through them. So the max layout, you need that, and you need a floating layout. Occasionally, you do need to float a window. So that's really all you need, those 3 layouts. You don't need 15 different layouts in your tiling window manager. I have a few extra custom layouts, like in my Qtile configs. Some of it is for me just playing around, but I have some pretty specific layouts because I'm capturing things in OBS. And by the way, looks like my camera has stopped here. Let's see if I can actually change that. Give me a second, guys. What I'm going to attempt to do here is I'm going to turn off my Panasonic and start it again. Alright. So I think the only way I can get that camera to come back up would be to relaunch OBS. I'm going to have to close OBS and restart it, which will kill the stream, but it will only kill the stream for about 30 seconds. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll be back, maybe even less than 30 seconds, depending on how fast I can type OBS in D menu. So be right back in 5 seconds, 10 seconds maybe. And we are back. How professional was that, guys? How many live streamers on YouTube do you guys check out that purposely kill a stream? All right, let me close out some of what I've got going on here. And we're not professional at all. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, I don't have too much time here. Yeah, if I was just wanting to play around with this config here, first I need to figure out what's going on with some of the stuff here. One thing, to help me out with this config, let's just look at the conky. The conky tells me Super Shift D was originally what brought up D menu, but now the camera died again. You know what? I don't think the camera likes it when I switch monitor focus here in OBS. I need to quit doing that. I've got an idea though. We've boogered up here. That's fine though. Let's kill the camera. Anyway, the conky gives us some idea. So Super Shift D originally was the key binding for D menu. You guys saw me, I had changed that to just Super Keypad 0 now opens up D menu. So if I get focus on this monitor, Super Keypad 0 opens up D menu. I think they also had a key binding to open up Rofi. Both D menu and Rofi are actually on the system. So if I do Alt F2, I believe they have that particular run launcher. I'm not sure what that is. Then we have Alt F3, which is the XFCE app finder. So we have like 4 different ways to launch applications. Kind of strange. I'm going to get rid of all that other than D menu. D menu I'll keep. The rest of it I don't need. Super Shift Enter opens our file manager, which I'm assuming was Thunar by default. I think I got rid of Thunar. I don't need it on the system. I already had PC Man FM, I think, already on the system anyway. So if I need a graphical file manager, PC Man FM, but of course my key bindings, I'm going to have VIFM. So VIFM's already here. I'll just have a key binding for that. Control Alt V opens Vivaldi for our browser, and Arco Linux, I believe, has Vivaldi set as the default browser. Oh, we don't want to listen to Total OS today here on the stream. We'll get flagged. So Vivaldi is installed, and it was set as our default browser. So anytime you like click on a URL, you know, in a text document or anything, it opens up Vivaldi. I don't use Vivaldi as my default web browser. I use Firefox, so I had to change that. So looks like they have Super and F6 on the keyboard for a media player. That's interesting. What media player are they using in Arco? VLC. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. I think they also have Dead Beef installed by default on the system, don't they? Yeah, Dead Beef was also here. It's like I was listening to a little Igor Stravinsky the other day. Dead Beef had The Rite of Spring loaded up. For those of you that are familiar with the great Igor Stravinsky. Let's see, anything else? Super Shift R to restart Awesome. We already figured that one out. Super Shift X to stop Awesome. Should I do this on camera? Sure, why not? Super Shift X. Okay, I'm back, guys. Super Shift X does close Awesome, by the way. I was expecting it to have some kind of like session menu come up, like do you want to log out, reboot, suspend, hibernate? No, Super Shift X, it just kills Awesome. So, yes, yeah, I should be embarrassed, but you know what? I've done this so many times. Yeah, I'm numb to the pain, right? But this is why I do all this. I make all these mistakes, so you guys don't have to. At least that's my excuse. That's what I'm going with. All right, so let me open up a browser here if I can. Again, none of my normal keyboard shortcuts I would use are working. Okay, we got Chris Titus about to do something on YouTube. Where is my live preview at? How do I move to a different monitor? I'll just drag it. Until I figure out the key bindings for all this stuff, I may have to just do floating mode for the most part. Anyway, we'll just keep it on the chat. I think that's about it as far as me trying to play around with Arco on camera, because the more I play with it and I have to constantly restart the window manager or change focus on the screens, what monitor I'm capturing in OBS, I'm going to keep having these problems like I keep having with my camera. So I better just quit while I'm ahead on that. But I'll hang out with you guys for a little longer here in the chat. You guys got any questions or comments, anything you want to ask? I'm available for a few minutes here. I'll drink the rest of my now cold coffee since it's been sitting here. Let me go back through the chat. I know I missed some of the chat while I was playing with the camera, and then I killed Awesome Window Manager. Killed it dead. So, yeah, WS to have the key bindings displayed. Yeah, let's try that. I did notice that the other day, that they did have so Super S, does that bring? Yeah, but I don't have focus on the right monitor that I'm capturing. Super S. Why is that not working? It's always gonna do it on the center monitor for some reason, and I'm capturing the far left monitor right now. But it brings up a little menu that has all the key bindings in it. So that is a good tip there. Pro tip. Super S to get all the key bindings in Arco, at least with the Awesome Window Manager edition. And I'm getting some notifications about Variety Wallpaper Changer. I guess because when I log back in, is it starting to rotate the wallpapers in? Yeah, nice slideshow stream. Yeah. So I'm late. Yeah. Speaking of slideshow, those of you that are going to be interested in Variety, like I said, I'm just going to delete it off my system because I won't be using it. But if you guys want to see like what's available as wallpapers in Variety, you can go down here and click Wallpaper Selector, tick that on. And you get, well, you should get a wallpaper selector, but looks like it's buggy. I'm changing the wallpapers, but they're not being displayed here in the wallpaper selector. Why is that not working? Let's relaunch that. See if it'll sort itself out. Doesn't look like it will. Some kind of bug there. Let's do the history function in Variety and see if that works. It's the same. I do know it works. Maybe it just doesn't want to work while I'm recording in OBS. Maybe it's some kind of conflict here. Normally that looks all right though, because I have checked that out before, and normally that looks just fine. Yeah, it was definitely something buggy because it actually messed up the layout of Like, it moved Firefox from monitor 2 to monitor 3. Just me opening the history and variety. That's unusual. I'm not sure why it would do that. Anyway, variety's kind of cool. Those of you that want something to change the wallpaper on a regular schedule. Let's see. Yeah, Arco is cool, but you have to shed 100 of useless softwares. Yeah, it depends on how you do the install. If you do like your basic Arco install, yes, it's going to have a ton of programs installed by default. So yeah, you just have to sudo pacman, -r, for remove all the names of programs that you want to get off the system. But if you do like the Arco Linux D install, you could edit the scripts, the install scripts, in such a way you go in and all the programs you don't want, you just comment them out or delete them from the script. So it doesn't install 3 different web browsers on your system, for example. So you don't end up with Vivaldi on your system if you're never going to use it. Or I think he ended up with 6 different text editors. Vim is on here. Nano is on here. Sublime was on here. I think Atom was on here. Genie. Anyway, I got rid of most of that. Sublime was a kind of a pain actually for me to figure out how to uninstall, because I don't know how they installed Sublime. Trying to uninstall it with pacman did not work. I actually had to go find the physical like binary, just delete it off the system finally, just to keep that thing from opening, because it was set as the default text editor too, which I didn't want Sublime as the default text editor, because I'm often configuring stuff, right? I'm configuring, config files. Sublime kept launching all the time. It's like, I know I set Vim as my default editor. Why does Sublime keep coming up? So finally, I've got to get this off my system. I couldn't uninstall it with the package manager. So finally, I just went and found all the files, in the root system and just deleted it. Found the binary, blew it away. May not have been the proper thing to do, but that was the only option I had. Yeah, Chromecasting to my TV looks fine to me, says Allie. Present arms. Good to see you again, sir. Yeah, Zebedee is in the house. How you doing, Zeb? Popey. How you doing, Alan? Yeah, this was just going to be a quick stream here. Again, I was thinking about window manager hopping. I'm gonna, live in Awesome Window Manager for a little while. I don't know, a month maybe. I've used it before. It's been a long time, many years actually, since I lived in Awesome. Probably about 7-8 years ago, probably the last time I used Awesome. So always for tiling window managers, the ones I lived in before doing this YouTube channel, Xmonad and Qtile, were the only 2 that I spent like real time in, like months of time in. So yeah, and then somebody's giving some awful.util.spawn commands. You helping us with the rc.lua? You might have been trying to help me out, but I've already closed the rc.lua. I'm not going to play with it anymore. I'm running out of time. This evening, when I get off work, I'm going to come back, and the next time you guys see Awesome Window Manager, it's not going to be Arco. It's not going to look anything like this. I'm going to get rid of the conky variety. I'm going to put, my wallpapers. I'm going to probably configure the panel a little differently. I kind of like the power line effect they've got going on. I don't mind that. I don't mind the widgets they've got here either, the sys tray. I might change this. They've got 10 workspaces set by default. I don't like the numbered circle here. I might just have just numbers, just plain numbers. Just the circled numbers. That's bloat, right? Just I kid, guys, with the bloat comments. Some of you guys think everything is bloat. Actually, the suckless guys would say Awesome Window Manager is bloat, because those of you that don't know, Awesome Window Manager is a fork of DWM from years back. They don't really resemble anything anymore as far as their code base, but originally Awesome was a fork of DWM. But they wanted to create a fork of DWM that was extensible, that you didn't have to constantly patch with those patches, that it actually had a proper config file the rc.lua file. So they made it extensible with this Lua language and the Lua config file. And of course the suckless guys just see all that as bloat. Why are you using Lua? Everything should be written in C. And obviously a config file is just one extra file that, you know, could have some bad code and break things, you know, according to the suckless guys. I actually don't see the point in not having a config file, actually. I wish DWM just had a DWM-RC file you could configure and restart the window manager and that be it, instead of having to recompile every time you make a minor change. But I kind of see, you know, where they're going with it. Yeah, Arco Linux D. And yeah, so Arco Linux has 3 different installs. They have their standard install, then they have Arco Linux D, which is a command line install. They're pulling down shell scripts from GitHub. You can edit those shell scripts before you execute them, so you can make the system minimal, or you can not edit those shell scripts and get, you know, all of Arco, kind of like what I have. You know, it's got the kitchen sink installed. They also have an Arco Linux B edition, which is a graphical installer, uses the Calamares installer, but you can edit that ahead of time too, I think before you start the installer, if you want to go ahead and, you know, whatever install scripts they're using for that, I think you can adjust what gets installed. The Arco Linux D install, though, the command line install for Arco, I can tell you, it takes a little time, and if you're going to go that route, I honestly would just install mainline Arch. Because the Arco Linux D install is actually a little longer than the Arch install. Because it's pulling things down from the internet. Everything's being pulled down from GitHub. And then if you're having to edit those shell scripts, if you have your own configs for the window manager, just do a minimal install, or just do a standard install of Arch. And then pull your own configs down from GitHub or GitLab and you're done. Now, if you don't have your own configs for Awesome or Xmonad or whatever window manager you're trying, then it makes sense to try Arco Linux. Because I've got it all pre-configured, it'll be a lot easier for you to get started. You're not going to keep everything in their configs. You're going to have to hack on it a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, I actually missed a lot of the chat. When I killed the window manager too and came back, some of the chat history is no longer available to me, so I have no idea how much of the chat I missed. I do apologize. Somebody was screaming, "No, don't turn your camera off." Okay. Yeah, it was probably just installing up. No, the camera froze because I changed what monitor OBS is capturing. So right now OBS is capturing monitor 1, which is the far left camera. I can change it right now and tell it to start capturing the center monitor, but it seems like every time I do that, my camera will freeze. So I'm not going to do that. Well, I had the IRC chat up earlier, but when I killed Awesome, the IRC chat window went away too. Sorry guys, those of you hanging out over in the DistroTube IRC. I'll try to hang out with you guys maybe this evening when I get home. Hey Derek, are you still using Xmonad? Well, did you read the title of the video, Leslie? I have Xmonad still installed on my machine. I have now 6 or 7 window managers installed that I've configured so far. And I do check them out every now and then. I logged into Xmonad 2 or 3 days ago just to see how it was. Make sure it was still working. And you need to do that with Xmonad, because Xmonad is one of those window managers, like when it has an update, there's a Haskell update. Haskell updates all the time, by the way. And when it does, you need to recompile Xmonad, which means you need to go to a command line and type xmonad space -- recompile and run that command. So if I don't log into Xmonad for a couple of weeks, but I'm keeping my system up to date, Haskell receives an update. And at some point I go and try to log into Xmonad, from LightDM, and I keep getting kicked back to LightDM. Xmonad, it just won't let me log in. That's the problem, is you need to recompile Xmonad because Haskell had some kind of update. It took me a while to figure that out, by the way, when I first got onto Xmonad. You know, you would keep coming back, and for some reason it wouldn't let you log in, and you're thinking, well, Xmonad must have broke. Well, Xmonad didn't break. It's just an update. Anytime it updates, you do need to recompile it. It's just a simple command. You can get to a terminal, Xmonad space dash dash recompile. If you can't get to a terminal, drop down in a TTY. Yeah, so yeah, Ali helped him out. Yes, I'm using Awesome Window Manager today. Yeah, I'm gonna try to when I do these Window Manager, like I switched to a Window Manager, then I kind of quit going back to other window managers unless I absolutely have to, log into Xmonad or Qtile or something. Like if something just will not work, like if I want to do a stream and Awesome Window Manager just will not do a stream for me, it won't capture a window for me in OBS or something. I have some kind of bug. Then I've got those other window managers to log into just for that, but typically what I'm going to do is, like for the next month, the only window manager I'm going to use will be Awesome Window Manager. Now, Awesome Window Manager should be very comfortable for me because I mentioned it's a fork of DWM. I was very comfortable using DWM. I will be comfortable using Awesome Window Manager. The only thing is because Arco Linux have configured it, with all these programs and all these key bindings, I'm going to have to completely rip out most of the config. I'm going to have to put all my key bindings in. Right now, it's very foreign. Like, I have no idea. Right now, I have Firefox on my center monitor. I have no idea how to move Firefox from that center monitor, my second monitor, to the first monitor. I'm assuming there's a key binding for it. I don't know what it is. In tiling window managers I'm used to, like Xmonad and Qtile, it would just be changing the workspaces because the workspaces would swap. That does not work in tiling window managers like DWM and Awesome because each monitor has their own independent set of workspaces. So you can't just swap workspaces. It doesn't work like that. But there will be a key binding on how to move a application from one monitor to another. I just gotta dig into the config and figure it out. Yeah, I have 2,000 plus installed. You have that many programs installed? Yeah, that's kind of bloated there, Ali. But you know what? We always talk about bloat on this channel, and it's become a bit of a joke. Yes, I'm still in floating mode here. Let me zoom in here. And if I run NeoFetch, let's see how bloated I am. 1,438 packages installed via Pacman. That's interesting. It doesn't list the snap packs. I do have some snaps installed on the system. Normally, NeoFetch includes that information. It is not including that today, or at least it's not in Awesome Window Manager. That's strange. I have more packages than that installed, actually. But anyway, I have like over 14 to 1,500 packages installed currently on my machine. That's a lot. Considering I don't have any full desktop environments installed on this machine. You guys know I don't run those big, heavy desktop environments like GNOME or KDE. How do I have that many programs installed? Especially I do so much, with terminal applications and command line applications. Well, I mentioned I have six or seven different window managers installed now. So things like Awesome and Qtile, Xmonad, DWM, they're all written in different programming languages, right? So that's why I have so many packages installed. It's because Xmonad, you have to pull down the entire Haskell language, all the Haskell libraries and the Haskell compiler. It's a lot of programs. Same thing with Awesome. You got to pull in all of Lua, and there's a lot of Python libraries with Qtile. Although, thankfully, Python's on most Linux machines anyway. But there's still some stuff that Qtile has to pull in that's not already there. Let's see. I'm going to quickly catch up on the chat. I'm probably going to kill the stream here in about 5 minutes. We're going to have to cut this one a little short. I've got to be going to work today. I just wanted to do something with Awesome Window Manager today. Instead of pre-recording it and editing it, you guys complain I don't do enough live. So, got a little bit of me live today. I may try to sneak in another live stream at some point this week. I got to check my schedule. But I'll try to do like a proper, 2-hour live stream, maybe a 2-hour Q&A with you guys, hang out with you guys. Yeah, can we get a review on Hannah Montana Linux? Well, I've taken a look at Hannah Montana on the channel. Unless it's received an update that I don't know about, there's no reason to take a look at it again. Hannah Montana, I mean, that came out in 2009, so unless there's a new version. Pretty sure Hannah Montana was based off of Kubuntu. Was it 1904 or 1910? The repos don't even work anymore in Hannah Montana anyway. Like, you can't really use Hannah Montana. I think really somebody should take it up. Take up that mission to make a modern Hannah Montana. Base it off of Plasma. Take a new Kubuntu. Take Kubuntu 1904, Disco Dingo, and theme it with Hannah Montana. One of you guys could pull that off. I'm putting it out there right now. That's a call to action right now to all you guys. If you want to see Hannah Montana rise from the ashes. Yeah, the chat is skipping ahead on me. I really messed things up when I killed the window manager. I had everything set up as far as the layouts and everything. I killed the IRC chat. I'm not going to try to open it again. Also, I've got to rearrange the windows in floating mode to make them fit. Like if I open the IRC chat, let me do it just so you can see what I'm dealing with. First, I'd have to open a terminal and type IRC because my key bindings are not set. But then I would have to go to floating mode, and then I would have to manually try to fit this in here because I don't have Awesome configured to actually place the windows in the right spot at the right size, It's just what you have to deal with when you're starting fresh with a tiling window manager or any window manager that you don't know how to use. Until I figure out some of the quirks and then, kind of adjust it to my workflow. It's just a foreign environment. But even being a foreign environment, again, you just dive right in. Like, I started this stream, I don't know the key bindings. You guys see, I killed my camera 2 or 3 different times. I actually killed the window manager at one point, killed the stream. I think I stopped the stream at least twice during this stream. But I don't care, right? You just dive right in. This is what we do in Linux. I think some people are afraid they're going to break something, or if you're doing something like I'm doing, on camera, you might embarrass yourself. Nah. Yeah, you got to get over that. Just dive right in. People often ask me, especially like the pre-recorded stuff, I'll leave mistakes in, like some of the stuff I've already done here today. The camera, by the way, froze again on me. We're just going to leave it. Matter of fact, I'll just turn it off. Let's see. Can we use the webcam today? Well, we could if I could. That almost works. Yeah, let's see. We'll turn that one off. Wow, why is the webcam too? Now it's all small like this. Anyway, we're just gonna go with this. I'm gonna kill the screen here in just a few more minutes. Typical train wreck DT live stream. I know some of you guys in the chat. Some of you guys in the chat too, or I know YouTubers. You guys have channels. Some of you guys do good content. Do you ever have these kind of train wreck streams that I have? I know Alistair, Present Arms, is in the chat. Alistair, you ever had one of these kind of streams? I bet not. Yeah, 20 packages for GIMP alone. Yeah. You have about 1,000 on your open box. So yeah, Alistair does a open box edition of his PC Linux OS. You guys know Alistair, of course, makes his My Trinity PC Linux OS. He's working on an open box edition as well. You guys should check that out. Yeah, I'm getting motion sickness from all the camera swaps. Yeah, my camera is working and the preview on it is working. It's just for some reason, I don't know why. That last time I didn't actually do anything in OBS as far as swapping which monitor I was capturing. I don't know why it froze that last time. Yeah, one I had over 4K packages on Fedora, DNF. Yeah. Yeah, life is a learning experience. That's true. What are the pros and cons of Awesome versus i3? Awesome Window Manager is a dynamic window manager. I like dynamic window managers. What does that mean? It means it has these pre-configured layouts, like the master and stack layout. You know, I don't have to figure out what this layout is, right? I don't have to manually decide, is the next window going to appear on the right column, on the left column, at the top, at the bottom? Where i3, Herbstluft, those kinds of window managers, they're manual tilers, meaning you decide exactly where you want them on the screen. Each time you open up a new window, you have to figure out, okay, I'm going to divide the window and put this on the right, then I'm going to put the next one at the bottom, and then I'll put the next one at the right, or however you want to do it. Awesome has already got these pre-configured layouts. So Awesome, DWM, Qtile, Xmonad are all dynamic tilers. So let me open up a few different windows here. I'm just going to open up 4 terminals. Right now I'm on this layout here that's called Tile Left. Let me kill my frozen camera from that scene. All right, Tile Left. If I click this icon, we go to Tile Bottom. That's already a pre-configured layout. Tile Top. Then the max is all 4 programs are still on the screen, but you only get one at a time, one max size. So this would be great for web browser, text editor, if you just want that one program to have focus. Then you have the magnifier layout, which is one screen is front and center, but it's not full screen. You can kind of see what's going on behind it. And then the standard tile layout is your typical master and stack. So that is Awesome Window Manager. That's what dynamic tiling window managers typically how they function. i3 is not a dynamic tiler, so that's why I don't get along with i3 that much. I'm used to dynamic tiling window managers. And i3, you know, it's got a different kind of workflow. But many people prefer the i3 workflow. Well, I think many people probably, a lot of people start with i3. You know, this kind of become like, many people recommend i3 as a good first tiler. So many people start with it. Once you use i3, you get used to it, right? But when you start playing around with some of the dynamic tilers like Awesome and Xmonad, you might actually prefer that workflow to i3. Also, Awesome is probably a little more configurable, a little more extensible than i3, actually. Awesome Window Manager is a little older of a project, and because of some of what it can do with the with Lua, assuming you know Lua, you can do some amazing stuff with Awesome. I'm not a Lua master. I won't be doing anything. I won't be hacking on it in very severe ways. But if you guys want to Google some Awesome Window Manager screenshots, people will make these widgets with Lua, these desktop widgets and different things. It looks really nice. You could make some really good Unix porn screenshots for those of you that check out the subreddit Unix porn. Matter of fact, that's a good place to go for inspiration if you're looking for what you can do with Awesome Window Manager. Go look for some Awesome Window Manager screenshots over on Unix porn. Let's see. Alright, yeah, I better get going, guys. I'm just going to read a couple more questions and shut it down here. Yeah, Python is nicer than Lua. I don't know that much Lua, to be honest. It's not a language I've tried to get into. Let's see. Hi, DT from India. Oh. Welcome aboard. Yeah. A little off topic, but have you checked out Leary OS? No, I haven't. You guys have asked me about it. I have checked out the website before, but matter of fact, I can refresh my memory here. Yeah, I've seen the website. I want to say I downloaded the ISO for it at one point, but I don't think there was some reason why I never took a look at it. Maybe I just couldn't get the thing installed. It's been a while since I looked at it though, but I know you guys had suggested it to me. It was on one of my lists. I've got a little plain text file. Every time you guys suggest something new to me as far as a distro or operating system or something to take a look at, I'll usually write it down, jot it down. Yeah, let's see. Thanks for the stream, DT. Don't forget to thumbs up. Thanks, Zeb. Appreciate that. Yeah. Let's see, Alan, your video has inspired me to try i3 again. Thanks, Alan. Oh. Let's see, desktop widgets. I remember those. You're talking about the awesome Windows Vista, right? I'm not talking about anything associated with Windows Vista. I'm just talking about awesome window manager. You know Lua, you can write your own custom Lua widgets that you can place on the desktop. It's not something most people do, actually. You can do it with Awesome Window Manager, but again, you would have to kind of know some serious Lua to hack on Awesome to do that, but some people do. Matter of fact, I saw a YouTube video the other day. Let's see if I can find a link to this YouTube video. Matter of fact, I may just play the video. I don't think the video has any sound. I mean, I think it plays music. Let me close these terminals. I think it's this one here. I'm going to mute it, so hopefully I don't get tripped up in the YouTube algorithms, but really? You got to be kidding me. Why is this? Okay, there it goes. That's strange I got that error. I'm going to full screen this so you guys can watch what this guy is doing here. You see how he customized his right-click menu? And look at his panel. That is actually the Awesome Window Manager panel at the bottom. And he has edited, you can tell how many windows are open on each workspace because he's got the little lines. And you see his widgets in the panel. Little battery widget and network widgets. All that's custom stuff he wrote in Lua, no doubt. But you see all the stuff on the desktop. See, the desktop really is just a solid color wallpaper. Well, it's got the kind of anime woman on it. But all that other stuff, that was displaying disk space and CPU and all that, it's Lua. He's doing all that in Lua. And then what is he doing? Editing. He's editing permissions for programs and files and stuff. And then, of course, he's got his hotkeys come up. He's got that key binded to show all the hotkeys he's got set. Well, I actually have no idea how he managed to do this here as far as how he gets these diagonal stripes on the windows as he's changing them. Anyway, like I said, if you are a Lua master, you can do some amazing things with the Awesome Window Manager. Definitely the most configurable window manager as far as any of the tilers. Nothing else really comes close. I mean, you guys know I love Qtile. Maybe if I was really good with Python, I could do some interesting things with Qtile. I probably could. If I wanted to take that kind of time, but I don't know. I don't think you could do what you could do with Lua. Xmonad, written entirely in Haskell. Maybe you could hack on that in such a way to do some of this, but again, who knows Haskell to that extent? So, yeah, I'm going to link to that video. That's what I was going to do. I was going to add it to the YouTube chat. I've got to find the YouTube chat, though. Give me just a second, guys. Again, when I killed the window manager, you know, I had the YouTube chat up and I lost it. Let's see. Guys, see if that link works. I don't... There we go. Alright, DT, what have I missed? You missed the entire stream. I'm actually killing the stream right now. Thanks for stopping by, Steve. But you didn't miss much. I was playing around a little bit with Awesome Window Manager today, but mostly it was just me having camera problems, logging in and out of the Window Manager a couple of times. I stopped the stream 2 or 3 different times. And we did have some Q&A here with the YouTube chat. That was actually most of what we'd done. Most of what we've done in the last hour and a half was really just me and the chat. So, yeah, well, yep, I'm out too, Mr. GFY. See you later. All right, Mitchell, thanks for hanging out. John, thanks. Love your channel. Thanks, John. All right, guys. All right, let me get out of here. Before I go, I'm going to thank these guys with my frozen face. Let me see if I can get rid of my frozen face. Yes, I can. All right. This show was made possible by Ansem Carl, Ansem Chris, Douglas Dillon, Leor, Philip, Rob, Robert, Tony. I hope I said everybody's name right. Yeah, okay. All right. Also brought to you by the rest of those guys. Those names on the screen. You guys know the standard spiel here at the end. My goodness, what is going on with the camera? You know what? I'm just going to play the outro. See you guys. Peace.